Good evening, everybody. Kristen here with Find Your Balance Dog Training. I wanted to talk tonight about the tools of a balance trainer. So when I'm training dogs, one of the tools that I love to use is the remote training collar. It's also called an e-collar or an electronic collar. So I have one right here. This here is the remote. This is what you hold in your hand. And this here is the collar. So the collar would be worn on the dog's neck, like so. And the way this collar works is very much like a TENS unit from the physiotherapist. So what that does is it stimulates a muscle. It's a muscle stimulator, which causes a muscle contraction of the little muscles in the neck. And it feels like a tingle, or sometimes it feels kind of like an itch, like it's a little sensation on the neck. So the way remote training collars are used is the first step is to teach the dog a command, like a sit, a down, place command, recall, whatever. So you teach it something. And then you go through the exercise again and you layer low-level e-collar pressure or stimulation on top of the known behavior. So as the dog is performing a command, he's also feeling the sensation of the e-collar. Eventually, the dog works off of just your verbal commands and then only feels the e-collar prompt if they fail to do the command. But in the early stages, you use it on a very, very low level to help guide the dog into the known behaviors. What I love about remote collar training is that it is a crystal clear form of communication. When it's used correctly, there's nothing abusive about it whatsoever. It reduces a lot of stress. It makes things very, very clear for the dog, what's expected of them, and helps them be successful in the things that you ask them to do. One of the things I find with food training, actually, because we'll use a lot of food to guide and lure a dog into behaviors, but if you don't phase that out, eventually the only way you can get your dog to do a known behavior is by withholding that food reward until the dog does the command or the behavior that you're asking him to do. And while you're withholding that food, waiting for him to perform the behavior for you, it's actually very, very stressful for a dog not to get something that it wants so bad. So that's another thing that I love about the remote training collar, is because it really reduces a lot of that kind of stress. It's not anything confusing for the dog. It's just a very matter-of-fact, non-emotional, clear form of communication. And I find the dogs do really, really well with it. They're extremely happy because they always know what you're saying to them when you're training and when you're just living your life. They get to enjoy all kinds of wonderful benefits like being off leash, because the remote collar is, we refer to it as an invisible leash. So you can take your dog places where they're allowed to be off leash, and at extreme distance, I think this one reaches up to half a mile, you can still communicate with your dog. So if your dog is out of earshot even, you can use your e-collar, create that little sensation, and have your dog come back to you if you've trained recall on remote collar. So I just wanted to share with you all a little bit about that tonight, about why remote training collars are so helpful and they're used by balanced dog trainers. Have a great night, guys. Bye.